Hello, we are live. My name is Frank Kramer, I'm the host of Eat Like a Vegan Chef, and today's topic is how to cook without oil. So today I will talk about the facts and the myth about how to cook without oil and why it makes you feel better. And later I have a little cooking presentation, how to cook my favorite vegetable stew, of course without oil. Before I get there, I have a little quiz for you. What has 4,000 calories per pound and consists of 100% fat? If you know the answer, you can put it in the comment box and I will get to it a little later. So Eat Like a Vegan Chef is about helping people struggling with weight transition to a delicious whole food plant-based diet so they lose weight, feel better and get more done than ever before. So that's what Eat Like a Vegan Chef is all about. And I invite you to check out my recipes on YouTube and Facebook. So let's get to it. Why do we cook with oil? That's a good question. Since about 3,000 years we have been cooking with oil, and it is very hard to let go of oil. So basically the reason why I don't cook with oil is it's processed. It's highly processed food, and since I cook a whole food plant-based diet, oil has no place in my diet basically. So because oil is so highly processed, if you I'm going to leave some links once I'm finished with this live stream. I will place some links there and you can look it up what and how oil is processed, and it's just absolutely incredible. So before I get there, I'd like to welcome everyone. Hi Iris, hi Yvonne, nice to see you. Hi Kathleen, wonderful to see you. Okay, so basically oil is so highly processed because for instance the olive, it enters the process of the when it becomes oil, it's been stripped of all nutritional values, and the end result is a highly calorie dense food which is of no use. You know, in a whole food plant-based diet, we proud ourselves to eat as much as we want because we don't count calories. For that simple reason, because we eat low calorie dense foods. For instance, 200 grams of broccoli has about 1 pound of broccoli has about 200 calories. So compare this to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That is the same amount of calories. So what fills you up more, the pound of broccoli or the 2 tablespoons of olive oil? So to me, it's a no-brainer. I know there has been a lot of hype in the news that olive oil is healthy, and indeed, olive oil is one of the healthiest oils out there. Virgin olive oil, 100%, there's no doubt about it. But when it comes to calorie dense food, olive oil is at the top of all foods. So that's why I'm not cooking with oil. So as Dr. Esselstyn said already, that olive oil, like any fat, causes inflammation and harms blood vessels. Dr. McDougall said something very famous, and he said, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. It's pretty awkward, I would say. From your lips to your hips, he also says. It's unbelievable, and I want to explain why it is like this. When you eat a high-fat meal, your fat and your carbohydrates, they're competing with each other. So basically, when you eat a fatty meal, your fat always enters the bloodstream first. And that means your cells will absorb anything they get. That said, once your cells absorb the fat, they are closing up the entrance. So the glucose, which is from the carbohydrates, is in a bloodstream and cannot enter the cells because the fat is in there. So it's a competition. It's almost like you snooze, you lose. The fat, whatever gets there first, gets entrance into the fat cells. So that's when the pancreas sends out insulin. And the insulin is trying to get into the cell, but it can't because the fat is blocking it. So that's why we're trying to eat a low-fat, high-carb diet. So that means that the carbs enter the bloodstream first, because the fat you have is insignificant when you eat a whole food plant-based diet. That means you are basically burning carbohydrates, which you're supposed to. Every time you eat carbohydrates, they are being burned as energy. If they're not being burned, they're being stored as glycogen in your liver and your muscles. So that's basically it. It's very simple. It's a very simple process, and that's the reason why I don't cook with oil. And I think it's science has shown that if you eat a low-fat diet, it can reverse a lot of chronic diseases. Dr. Esselstyn said that, Dr. Campbell, Dr. Greger, Dr. Popper, Dr. McDougall. There's so many doctors out there who promote this type of diet. So basically, if you eat oil in a meal, that oil constricts your blood flow by 32%. And triggers plaque buildup. So this is the number one reason for me not to eat oil or fat. So, and it gets even worse if you eat animal foods. That is way worse than just olive oil. Way worse. So saturated fats have a terrible effect on your arteries, and it's scary stuff, definitely. So basically, you can see it this way. If you walk up the stairs and you had a fatty meal a few hours before and you're out of breath, you know why. That's because of the oil. It constricts your blood flow. That's less so with athletes, but with people who are sedentary, definitely. It's a point I would definitely make sure that you restrict your oil intake, and you will see a difference and you feel better. That's for sure. Okay, so as I said, today I have a little cooking presentation for you, and I also take your questions. If you do have questions, please post them in the comment box and I will get to it in a little bit. So basically, I'm cooking a little vegetable stew today, and I'd like to show you the process how to cook without oil, because I had so many questions from you that you're scrubbing the pan afterwards, that because I'm cooking without oil. And I will prove to you, after I'm finished cooking this vegetable stew, I will prove to you that there's nothing in the pan, absolutely nothing. The pan is going to be totally clean. I mean, not clean, but there's no residues in the pan. I will promise that. So basically, I turn the heat to full heat, wait a little bit until the pan heats up. I, on purpose, used this Dutch pot. Basically, it's just to show you that you can cook oil-free in any pan. So I'm adding the onions to it, and you'll see the onions are already searing slightly away. So I want to wait until they turn slightly brown. Of course, I have my water here. You can use vegetable broth, of course, but I use water. So you want to make sure that you stir all the time Okay. I always start with onion first. This is how I've been trained in culinary school. We do onions and garlic first. I use garlic. You don't have to use garlic, but I think garlic is a very healthy vegetable. It has lots of antioxidants, so it's always good to use it as well. So you see that the pan is slightly turning brown here. This is what you want. This is the caramelization process. Okay. So now we can add a little bit of water to it. I would say a quarter cup. Okay. You see all the brown spots are gone. So you let it cook. And now I'm going to add my mushrooms to it. With my mushrooms, I'm going to add my spices. In my vegetable stew, I love to put some Indian spices like turmeric, curry. It just gives the vegetables a beautiful flavor. So put about a quarter or half a teaspoon turmeric, the same with curry. Not too much, we don't want to overpower it. And we're stirring it. So putting in the spices in the beginning, like curry and turmeric, has the advantage that I roast them early on. That means they develop more flavor. The reason why I add one vegetable at a time is because I'd like to add layers of flavor. That's why I'm adding one vegetable at a time. See, it's getting a little brown here already. Not to worry. Add a little water to it. You want to get rid of these little brown spots. You don't want to burn anything. That's very important. You do not want to burn anything. And you want to keep the temperature in such a way that nothing gets spit out. We don't want that. Okay. Now I'm going to add my peppers. Just sauteing a little bit. I turned down the heat a little bit now. Add a little bit of water to it. As I said, I don't want to burn anything. You want to keep the pan clean and make sure everything cooks evenly. So you see now the peppers are cooking. I'll add the broccoli to it. Let's add the broccoli to it. I'm going to add the beans as well. It is always a good idea to cook the beans a little longer, so that you don't have any issues with digestion. If you like to add a little salt, you can do that now. Add a little bit of salt. If you're salt-free, obviously you eat without salt. You can use liquid aminos. It works just as, basically we're just letting it cook until the broccoli gets a little al dente. So for me it's very, very important that I add water all the time to it, because the water is basically your sauce. So later when you serve the dish, you want to have a little bit of sauce on your dish, because the water includes your vitamins. So always keep this in mind. Not just because these vegetables don't have much liquid, but since we're cooking with water, vitamins leaching out of the vegetables. So you want to make sure that you capture all these vitamins. Very important. Okay. As you can see, the bottom of the pan is completely clean. Nothing is burning, and I haven't used any oil whatsoever. So just imagine how much oil I would have used for this dish here. I would have used 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil. That's 400 calories extra. And I can eat these vegetables just by myself. Okay? So I'd rather eat the vegetables without the calorie density. We want to make sure we taste it now. Want to make sure that it has a good flavor. I'll put just a little bit of salt in. Black pepper. And if you like, some oregano. It's always good for antioxidants. Spices have one of the highest antioxidants of all foods. So it's always good to use herbs, dry herbs, fresh herbs, doesn't matter. Okay, so the end, I add my spinach to it. So because spinach wilts in literally seconds, I add spinach to the end. And spinach is probably one of the most potent foods in this dish here. It has, you wouldn't believe it, it has fats, it has omega-3s, it has antioxidants, vitamins. It's just unbelievable. Green leafy vegetables are wonderful vegetables and should be part of almost every meal. You see how fast this wilts? And I want to make sure I have enough liquid in my pan, because you can have this meal with brown rice, sweet potatoes, and any potatoes you like. And you have the sauce in there which can be absorbed by the rice. It's just beautiful. Okay, so we're good here. Turn this off. Okay. Put this here. So basically, this is how I cook my food. I eat this for breakfast. I eat this for lunch. I can eat this anytime. It looks a lot, but it's really not, because it is not calorie dense. If I had oil in here, it would have been much higher in calories. So basically, that is my dish. This is what I eat very, very often. And the people who have worked with me before, they know that I've been cooking this all the time. And it's such a simple but delicious dish. Okay, any other questions you have about cooking without oil? If you like this, thank you. If you like this video, you can press the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If you saw that cooking without oil is really, really simple. There is nothing to it. And you saw the pan was clean, right? So yes, all my dishes are without oil. Definitely. I personally, I cook always without oil. So that's because when you cook a whole food plant-based diet, it just doesn't fit in it. Because when I cook my vegetables, I eat a big portion, and I don't need additional calories in there, which are basically empty calories. I don't want that. So that's why I cook without oil all the time. I think I have covered everything, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I would say I'll see you next time, next Thursday, same time again, 12 o'clock. If you'd like to see anything else on my live stream next week, just let me know, and choose one topic out of it. Okay, do you eat nuts? Do you eat nuts, avocados, olives? Good question. Yes, I do, because I don't need to lose weight anymore, or my wife gets really upset. If you want to lose weight, you shouldn't eat nuts, avocados, and olives. You shouldn't eat anything fat. So that's basically because they're calorie dense. I would like to see tips on oven roasting vegetables. Okay, well, that falls into the category of cooking without oil. When you cook, if you like to roast your vegetables in the oven, you usually use oil to get this browning effect, but you don't need to. So what you do is you steam your vegetables for about 2 to 3 minutes first, and then you add them on a tray. Add all your seasonings on it, your spices, your whatever you like to add, salt and pepper, oregano, rosemary, and mix it up, and then you put it into the oven, and you will see it will brown the same way. So I'll see you next week, Thursday. Thank you so much for coming today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next week, Thursday. Thank you.